Hi, this is Kevin Quinn, and we're going to learn how to create the year-to-date stats report for product category. It's also an auto-link target, but it does something unique here with the measures. It actually creates a stack of the measures instead of showing them across the screen like it does by default. It stacks all the measures in a column, and we're using some of the aggregate operators like maximum, minimum, average, and median to give you more information about a particular stat. We're also using it with a new feature of the product called From To, which lets you go from the beginning of the year to the current month as an example. So you can see that report. It's located in the Retail Samples domain under the Reports folder, and it is also in the Auto Links Target folder under there. It's called the Year-to-Date Stats for Product Category. So again, here we are in InfoAssist Plus, and we're going against the WF Retail Lite data source, and we're going to build our statistics. So we have to select our sales measures from the sales measure group. So the first measure we're going to look at is cost of goods sold. But we want to actually have multiple versions of this. I'll do cost of goods sold again, 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 and again. So I won't go through all of these, but I'm going to show you how you do this with cost of goods sold, but we're going to do this for cost of goods sold, discount, gross profit, and revenue. So what I'm going to do is for the first one, I'm going to select and do an aggregate, which is an aggregate function here, and we want it to be a sum, or the sum total. That actually is the default. The next one we're going to set up and do an aggregate function, and this one we want to be the maximum value of this. The next one we want to do is the minimum. We'll go to cost of goods sold, the last one we haven't changed yet, aggregate functions, and we'll do the minimum value. The next one is going to be the average value. So again, more, right click, more functions, and we'll go down to the average value. And the last one is the median value. So we'll go more, aggregate functions, and we'll go down to median, which is the middle value. The next thing we want to do is change the title for these. Instead of using the function name, we'll change the title to something that's more legible to the person who's going to view the report. So for cost of goods sold, the title we'll just put right after it, dash, and we'll call it total. So it's total cost of goods sold. And for the maximum, we'll right click it, select change title, put a space, a dash, and we'll say maximum. And we know it's the maximum value that it finds for that particular group. And we'll do the same for minimum, average, and median. So here you can see I changed the title for all of these fields. You might have noticed that all of the other fields were stacked. So in other words, they were actually down the page instead of across, as you can see here. That's a feature called stacking measures. So I'm going to go to Format, and you'll see there's an option here to stack measures. And when you do that, they'll stack like this. The only thing that's different now is we want to do the same process for a number of the other fields. So for discount, gross profit, and revenue. So now you can see I've actually added the rest of the fields into my report. So we actually have discount, gross profit, revenue, and the max, minimum, average, and median for all of those fields. And now we want to do a couple more things to our report. First of all, we want to break this down for each of the most recent quarters. So we want to go to the sales group of dimensions, and we'll open up the transaction here, and we're going to take month, and we're going to drag it down onto the across. So you'll get it across the page for each of the months. The next thing we want this to do is to be a running total for each month of the year up into the current date. So what we want to do is create a thing that will work with from the beginning of the year to the current month. So for that, what we're going to do is we're going to go here where there's an attribute of the day, and we're going to actually take the date, the sale date, and drag it down into the filter area. And what we want to do is select where it says equal to here, and we're going to scroll down to the From To. Actually below From To, it's actually right there. And what we want to do is select From To. So what we want to do on the From, we want to go from the beginning of the year to today, or the current month. So we'll leave it as today. So the beginning of the year to today, and it's actually going across month. Next thing is a header on our report, and we want it to be monthly, year to date. I'll do YTD stats. And on the next line, and we'll say for all, and we'll put ampersand product underscore category. So we'll see what product category this is for if this is drilled to from another report. And we'll select to have this centered, and we'll say OK. Now the theming of the report, we'll make this our green light 2. And the final thing that we want to do is actually put our optional parameter for the product category. So we'll go to product group, we'll take product category, drag it into the filter area, and we'll say the product is equal to a parameter which is called product category, and it's optional, and that will fill in the product category for us. And of course, if we want to drill from other reports, we have to make this a target. So it's an auto link target, and that's that selection right there. And now people will be able to find this. Any report or chart that has product category in it, they'll be able to drill into monthly, year-to-date stats for that product category.